K23 with their new roster, of course, after they let Fame and Norbert go to Outsiders. And playing with Ryjin, of course, Finnegan as well. And a lot of players that some of you guys may know from the past too. xapower probably will be the most well-known player to a lot of you guys. This is a quality team. And let's see what they can do against Fnatic. On Ancient in a BO1, having a bit of fun. Maybe Fnatic letting Ancient go through. Of course, it is just a BO1 for the seeding for the RMR. So both these teams are already qualified. Let's see what they can do on this one. Mezii hiding toward the back of the site. Will swing wide. And I think at least 3 players fight him at once, unfortunately for him. In the end, Ryjin takes him down and Clax taps Crimz beautifully. So that's a 5v3 for K23 on the A side.
Yeah, I would say pretty firmly in their control at this point, especially as the retake is shut down before they can even group up and initiate it together. That 1 kill in Temple prompted FASHR to see if he could pull something back there around the site itself, and unfortunately that didn't work out either, so the situation really has just crumbled and deteriorated even further. They'll push him down, they'll put a simple finish to it, and it's K23 with a very convincing pistol round. As we said, Fnatic had a very easy first game, 16-3. It can lure you into maybe a slight false sense of security. Obviously, they're not going to carry any overconfidence, I wouldn't say, into this game, but they didn't have the same level of competition. They didn't have all of those close moments to keep them at their maximum, I suppose. So hopefully they can warm up within a couple of rounds. For now, though, it should be just a full eco. They'll try and get that gun round out as early as they can, it seems. Oh, that might help. Maybe a kill or two now can be found with those USPs.
That's
I'd be raging if I was him.
That hurt us a little bit, you know, right between the shoulder blades as well. Down to 39 health. All good though. It's fine. As long as they don't walk into the default pistols. Listen, sometimes I acknowledge them, sometimes I don't. That's literally a 200 million IQ Molotov from X5 there. Guessing that they're all stacked in donut. Maybe they had some sound cues of them running in, but it works out. And they force literally everyone out of Fnatic. They spread wide. And unfortunately, no kills can really be found there. So K23 get their clean 2-0 start.
Yeah, it's what they needed. It's what they wanted. Thankfully, the knife damage didn't come back to bite Ryjin in the butt either. So
yeah,
they were able to hang on to things, keep it clean, and ensure now coming up against this first gun round that they have all the rifles themselves, as well as pretty much a bonus. Only X5 doesn't have the money for a rebuy if needed. Looking like Fnatic do, and they get maybe a bit aggressive. And Ned might even do some damage on X5. Yeah, it does some pretty decent damage, actually. Maybe enough to warn him away and allow Crimz if he wanted to take that control a bit further, but I don't think he wants to overplay his hand. Happy enough to just stick in position. It doesn't really seem like K23 are doing much about coming towards mid-control themselves. As Ryjin, he's going to get spammed down through the smoke. He's not having a great start to this game. Knifed by a teammate in the previous one. This time around, doesn't even get to see his opponent before he's dead. And on top of the bit of damage that was connected early on, this does put Fnatic in a decent position because they had a severe lack of nades, so they needed something to alleviate the pressure.
Yeah, Rain has a famous clip of him just wallbanging, I think, 3 players. I think actually it was, ironically, Copenhagen Flames FaZe were playing. And he wallbanged 3 players through those paper-thin walls around Jaguar. Some even trades coming in, though. Clax and Crimz get 1 each in the end, but Clax is down to only 16 points of health, and Nicodos spots the Shadow and the gun barrel, so it's an easy frag for him. 4v2 as xapower throws some utility toward the A site, but the bomb is going all the way back to B, with actually xapower trying to hold, or X5, sorry, trying to hold the mid play, and he does get 1. Obviously, you can sometimes hold for those rotations and do something cheeky with that, but now with him showing his hand, it's all down to xapower. 1v3. He has crept behind enemy lines, but there's only 10 seconds in the round to go, and Nico is still here, and I think saving is probably the best thing he can do here, but he might not even get a chance to do that, and he won't. And it will be an easy first on the first buy round for Fnatic.
We did say it was pretty much the full bonus round from K23, though, so they'll still reinvest here and get some rifles, and I think it's only X5 there, as you can see, who's going to be left on maybe a Deagle and armor. Waiting to see if he'd go for the Tech 9, maybe get some nades, and actually he gets a few behind the Deagle anyway by sacrificing the helmet. Not a big deal. I mean, The rest of his team, at least, they're rocking the rifles and the full Kevlar as well. So the extra smoke and flash, I think, is probably a little bit more useful at this moment, especially since they know, obviously, with that being a pretty close round again in the previous, they can still, of course, break down Fnatic pretty quickly here if they win this one out. As they're waiting and maybe expecting some aggression after how the previous round played out in the early moments. When they are catching it here.
Showing exactly the hand you meant, and he just wide swings the AWP of Exapower. Can you believe it? Well,
Ballsy.
that's that gun gone. Thankfully, at least X5 didn't have a gun, so he can just switch straight to that AWP. They all still have 5 guns, but they have to really play contact in this situation because their utility is very, very limited. And when you play contact against solid riflers like fnaticFASHR and Roy, it's not going to be successful all too often. fnaticFASHR, of course, the new addition to Fnatic. A lot of people who would have followed Tier 2 will know how insane he has been on that ecstatic roster. Chance for him to ply his trade after a long few years of grinding in the Benelux scene and in ecstatic, of course. Finally, he's got his chance that he deserves, and he's been playing rather well on Fnatic to start off. Really looking forward to seeing this team on LAN at the RMR. But yeah, X5 is in a spot where probably damage is the order of the day.
Yeah, he doesn't really have a lot of time to do that, sadly. I mean...
Again.
Yeah, he's going to back away and just save the op, it looks like. Understandable. Unfortunately, it won't really give them a lot to work with in this next round other than the op that's been saved. I don't think they can... I don't imagine they'll go for any sort of force buy anyway. They're only getting the 1900s, so they'll need to take a full eco and just in order to barely scrape together the buy round in the one following. So, yeah, maybe the op can get a few kills. Maybe they can do some damage to give themselves a good shot going into that next gun round to start breaking down Fnatic's money once again. But this round should be going the way of Fnatic unless something crazy happens. Z-Power is willing to take the small risk and at least get Kevlar behind the op. Obviously, that impacts what he's going to have in this next round unless they can at least get a bomb plant.
Yep. I've seen him do some nutty stuff on the AWP over the years and the various teams that he's been involved with. I think Forza was one of his teams, of course, back in the day. But I remember some insane clutches in Tier 2, the fringes of Tier 1. Bomb site, the B bomb site at Mirage, I remember had plenty of plays in that position. Mezii will deal with Clax first off. Of course, it's another Glock to find in Raijin as well. And in case people are curious, I had the pleasure of interviewing X5, I think about a few months ago, and he did say that X5 is the fine way to pronounce his name. And hilariously, he told me that he got that name by just spamming his keyboard and it stuck, apparently.
Yeah, so the Steam Authenticator code thing wasn't too far off. It is just a bunch of random numbers and letters.
Classic.
I mean, that is a way to get over the whole issue of coming up with a name. Just spam your keyboard.
Very true.
Who cares if you're clicking heads? That's all that matters. And, well, X5 definitely is capable of doing so, even if he's having a bit of a slower start right now. Creeping out onto A. Unfortunately, it's a passive hold from Fnatic where they're expecting this, it seems. They already have 2 players in position, a third ready to come in quickly from Donut, and as you can see, playing contact off each other pretty much perfectly. Once the contact was found initially, Nikodos was able to peek in from the temple as well. And while he does go down to the op in the end, as long as they don't suffer any more casualties, then they should be fine, especially if they can recover the op.
And saving it actually isn't too bad in this scenario. And this is obviously you can't do this with 15 seconds to go. But if I was to be really picky, I'd like to see maybe Finnegan actually save. Obviously you can't do that now, but if he was the one to save the AWP, he could buy armor in the next round, full armor with a helmet as well. But X5 can't because he only has $200 and he's the one saving. So, as I said, that's probably not a situation that could have been made possible. But still, they're gonna have a buy this round. Absolutely fine, just with a lack of a helmet on 2 players.
The issue is they only got 2400, right? So if X5 did save it over, he still wouldn't have been able to drop a rifle in return.
True.
So if Finnegan saved it over, rather, X5 wouldn't have been able to drop the rifle, and Finnegan wouldn't be able to buy one either. So while it would have worked out for the helmet, I think it would have sacrificed one of their weapons. I wasn't really thinking of it at all before you mentioned it, so it wasn't something that was in my head.
Yeah.
But I had to kind of
As I
break
said,
it
it was
down
very
afterwards.
picky.
Yeah, exactly.
Very picky, yeah.
Oh, Mezii and Crimz. Autodirector said, you don't need to see this action. Instead, you're going to get what Rye has to offer, and that is 2 nasty headshots. Nearly spun around for the third on Clax, and, well, it should be finished anyway. I thought the nade was there to do it, but no, instead, it left on 11. 1 to the body is going to be enough for Nikodos, and there it is. 4 for Fnatic. They've taken 4 in a row, and it seems to be getting a little bit more convincing as it goes on, as well as they begin to stabilize their own money, as they get the nades, and as they start to feel a bit of confidence in their ability to take risks, because they know they're not a single round from being completely destroyed.
Yeah, this Fnatic team has such a high skill ceiling. Anyone who would have seen fnaticFASHR play, seen Roy play with Nikodos on Copenhagen Flames will know that has a lot of potential. Of course, Mezii IGL is something that a lot of people have questioned, but he's a very smart guy, so I wouldn't be surprised to see it succeed in the long run, and they're going to have a great chance at the RMR to show what they're truly made of on LAN. And possibly make their first major for a good few majors, I think. We'll see, though. That's a long way to go, and they've got to win this one first as well. Just get a little bit of an extra seed toward the RMR, and Raijin has already taken the head off of fnaticFASHR with a lovely 1 so the deco at the moment is proving to be too unsuccessful.
They did some good damage as well. Fortunately, they've taken quite a bit of their own, but I mean, with the numbers advantage, if they can get a few effective trades, while I don't love their chances of winning the round, it is possible, and they could at least do some damage. Sadly, X5 peeking into the op isn't really going to make things any easier. That was one of their healthy players as well.
Yeah. A little bit a swing perhaps toward Donut, but unfortunately for K23, there are 2 players defending that portion of the map. Clax does get 1 toward Mezii, but he's now the last one left, and Crimz will stop him as well. 3 for Mezii, good defense. And if any of you were around last night to see Fnatic's game against Havu in that ridiculous game on Nuke, where Fnatic scraped through 28-26 to absolutely confirm their place in the RMR, you'll know that Mezii has been fragging very well despite IGLing, especially at this level. Whether we can keep it up in the long run, of course, is another matter, but he's been impressive for sure so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, all the games I've seen from Fnatic so far throughout the qualifier were pretty simple. I didn't get to see them in the first qualifier. I think they went out in the round of 16, so that may have angered them a little bit, getting so close and then just falling short in the end, because they just smashed everyone in this qualifier in all the games I was able to catch anyway. So yeah, that's been impressive, and as you said, from what I've seen, Mezii's been fragging really well. Nikodos op has been fantastic. Rye has been nuts as well. Crimz had some nasty games. They've all had their moments. It's never been the same person from game to game that's up at the top of the scoreboard, and that's a good thing to see, because it hopefully means when it's necessary, all of those parts can come together as well.
Indeed. And of course, the real test is the RMR, and all the best teams in the world will be involved. Obviously, I think it's yet to be decided what group they're in yet, as of course these matches being played for seeding, I think, do decide that, if I'm not mistaken. It's a nice peek from Raijin toward Cave, dealing with Roy, and that's going to force fnaticFASHR to look the other way, and that's going to be a nice peek from Clax too. That gives them the bomb site. 2 entries, just like that, and they should be able to win this round. They've got plenty of money for Fnatic, but I would imagine a save will probably come in, even with 2 players on near 7k, because they'll be able to buy a little bit more comfortably with a save, especially considering Mezii's on only 1,200 and fnaticFASHR's on 1,650. So, yeah, a save here does make the utmost sense.
I support that. I mean, sure, they have money, but chances of the 3-on-5 retake are so slim that they basically will be just throwing the weapons away for nothing. fnaticFASHR, he can do it a drop. I mean, they may as well give Rye one as well, just so that they can keep his money in a slightly more even place. Crimz will probably drop over an M4 because he's already got some utility as well, so we won't have to spend quite as much. Obviously, you want Nikodos having as much in the reserve as possible so he can be getting the op when it's necessary. But they can spread it out, they can keep everyone who needs money with money, and finally we have K23 adding another round onto the board. It had been 5 in a row, I believe, for Fnatic, so there is still even 2,900 loss bonus, so they definitely won't be cracking through them in just 1 more gun round. It's going to have to be the 2 more if they want to fully break them down.
Yeah, And 3 on T-side Ancient already by this point isn't too bad at all. I'm sure a lot of people will understand that. But yeah, I think a lot of people will have also thought that this K23 team might have just, kicked the bucket after they lost Fame and Norbert, two of their... At least Fame was an incredibly impressive player on this K23 team. Losing them to outsiders is a big... it was a big hit for them. But don't forget, this team has got... And this region, of course, I should say, CIS region has basically got unlimited talent, it feels like. So they
just queue a random game and just take someone out of their pool. Just like, oh, we found a CIS player, he'll be good enough. We already know it. We don't even need to check.
Indeed. And yeah, they're just dipping into that level and bringing up Finnegan and Raijin. Already qualifying for the RMR is a great result for them, considering they lost 2 of those players, which made them put them on the map in tier 2. That's a really nice adjustment from Crimz actually to at least get 1, considering he was aiming at 2 different angles there. But in the end, it's going to be an A play from K23. Clax will smoke CT, and the Mollies will come in as well. Be given the bomb from Extra Power as well, so he can hold the line toward Cave. But look where Mezii is. That's going to drop the bomb as well with 30 seconds to go. He's aware of a possible flank from mid. Completely changes up his position. Has Finnegan heard it? Well, he hasn't heard it, but he's definitely seen it now. So 20 seconds to go. 2v3. Bomb dropped on the side. What do? Get kills is what they can do. Possibly get back into the round. And Finnegan, so far back in mid, catches FASHR off guard. It's now all Mezii. He can swing if he wants to. 12 seconds to go. He makes it happen. He's out of bullets, but he can switch to the AK. And he can run away long and save, I think. Finnegan has no time to plant this bomb. He's giving it a go. Has he got it? Oh, he actually did get it, but of course had no time to plant safe. So in the end, Mezii nabs it with a nice clutch, and that's Fnatic up to 6.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if he went straight for the bomb plant. Maybe if he strafed the round into cover, but he didn't even 100% know where Mezii was at. That was the issue.
Yeah.
Could have been hiding in behind the bomb set even, so maybe where he was going for the plant could have been the safe one. So you never know. It's all about taking a little bit of a gamble, and well, at that point he had maybe a millisecond to make the decision. 6-3, Fnatic strike back. It leaves K23 with money, thankfully, because they still have the loss bonus built up to a pretty decent position, especially as the bomb goes down. But it does leave them a bit desperate to start grinding out some rounds here, because they're struggling to get anything chained together. They still have Fnatic in a pretty weak position, but they need to capitalize on it now.
Yeah, exactly. If they win next round, or sorry, this round and then the next round after, they will have broken Fnatic. So this is their chance with this bye to put Fnatic under a little bit of pressure. Of course, pressure won't be too high in this match, because as we like to confirm for you guys, so you guys are aware of the situation, both teams are qualified for the RMR, but we're playing for seeding in this BO1 Grand Final. But yeah, of course, they'd like to be the best seed possible from this second Open Qualifier. Of course, third Open Qualifier has started as well. I believe the B stream right now is covering some of that. Astralis, can they finally make it through? That is the question. Big teams like them, we've got Entropic,
Can they make it past the first
Movistar.
few rounds is the big question.
Maybe. We'll have to see.
Full shade, by the way.
Yeah, of course. Little flame. Nothing's wrong with a little flame.
A very slow round.
Utility. Yeah, look at them. They're really priming this play to sort of take the outside of B. Look how close FASHR is, and Roy. They're trying to play off the back of each other. Roy does damage, but actually he does 99 damage. Raijin down to 1 HP, and FASHR tries to take advantage of it and does get 2. And X5 is down to 3 as well. But they do have the man advantage.
Yeah, and with a bit of utility as well, they should be able to lock the remaining players out of B. Problem is, they don't even have everyone here. There's actually a little bit of a flank going down, and Clax manages to spot Nico does. Maybe not sure that the other player's already up close, so Mezii might have the chance at the trade, but he actually wanted to just move into the bomb site, and it's so close. If he lands that one more bullet onto Z-Power, Claxy knows he's behind him. If he jumped through the smoke as he did right there, then he probably would have been jumping to his doom, or at the very least, there's a chance for the bomb to be tapped to bait him out, and there's a ton of time still to be played off of. So I could see the win there for Mezii. Unfortunately for him, it doesn't happen. Yeah. Fortunately for K23, they win out a crucial round finally. It won't completely break Fnatic. They'll be able to take 1 eco and get a pretty solid buy in the next round. But it's given K23 a 5th here on this T side, and if they can grind out even 1 or 2 more, let alone if they could still get up towards maybe even 9, then they're going to be in a pretty good position.
Yeah. That was honestly, Mezii might have only got 1 kill in that clutch, but it was probably the only way he played that. Would have been the only way he could have won it. So, yeah, it's well played. Unfortunately, K23 too aware on this occasion. But yeah, actually, I thought they might be able to buy again Fnatic in the next round. But you're absolutely right. Of course, their loss bonus isn't very high at all. So taking the 1 eco does make a lot of sense, even though FASHR's got 4k. It gives him a perfect buy next round with full util. Pistols already. Dean's adjusting the sound for you. Don't worry, guys.
Turn it up a small bit. I won't go too high because everyone complained it was too loud before. Then people said it was perfect, but now people are like, it's too low. But yeah, I can't hear it, unfortunately. If I try and listen to it, you guys will hear everything looped because I'm running the stream as well. So, well, I suppose I could put the audio source out of a different thing on my mixer, but that's a lot of effort right now.
Dean is the multitasker extraordinaire for this stream, guys. So we've got to help him out sometimes with the levels, of course. But yeah, we've tried and sort that out for you. Clax. Yes, one more. And now just 2 more pistols to find for K23. Head spotted. A little bit of a boost, actually, over there. That was a 3-man boost in CT spawn, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
And no, I actually haven't seen that before. That'd be pretty good, maybe for a retake frag on a gun round one day.
Yeah, you can catch the off pushing the back lines if you have one of your own.
Absolutely, yeah. That's a pretty nice call. But unfortunately, of course, in a pistol round, it doesn't really mean much. But at least it's one to see. And look at the kills on K23, Dean. 7, 7, 7, 7, 6. Very even.
Yeah, nice to see a little team effort. Reminds me of some of Fnatic's games yesterday, actually. I remember one game, I think, where they were all on an 11 at one point.
Yep, I think that's accurate.
It's good to see when teams are coming together, when everyone's getting their moment to shine, and especially when you're on the T side here. Once they swap over to CT, you need everyone to be feeling the confidence. So it's nice if everyone can have their moments within that first half. Nico does. Solid shot before the smoke blooms. K23 maybe a little bit preemptive on their push into this A bomb site, but they've at least been able to get one trade back in. The problem is damage is being done, and utility is slowing them from actually being able to get that bomb itself down.
Yeah, Finnegan's got a big flank for Donut as well. Crim should get caught in the side, and he will. 4v3. I know Clax is low, but Exapower's got the line toward Temple, and yeah, FASHR walks right into it. Nico is still here. Can he make a play and recover this round? There's one. X5 will fake the bomb plant. I think Nico is aware of that possibility. Flash coming in, but he adjusts beautifully and gets a second as well. Back into a 2v2. Exapower now needs to advance to try and deal with him. But of course, you can't really find Nico from that angle anymore. There's not a hole in the temple anymore since the ancient update. Roy coming to help out Nico as well. The Copenhagen Flames duo trying to recover some of that synergy from that old team. Roy pushing forward as well. Could catch Exapower on the side. There's the head showing, and there's the shot. It's all now down to Finnegan. 30 seconds to go. There's the frag toward Nico, but Roy's playing with the angle and completes the frag. Roy gets it done for Fnatic again, and that will take them up to 7.
We've been slightly higher to sound once again. Someone said it was just a tiny bit too quiet. And the fact that he said it was just... He wasn't like, yo, it's still way too quiet. I'm believing him. He seems reasonable.
You've actually changed it a tiny bit.
Yeah,
like
just
a
tiny
little
bit.
pixel.
I'm trusting Twitch chat for once. Don't burn me, boys. Don't burn me. Molly down in mid. It's a not great buy for Fnatic, actually. They're stuck with 3 MP9s, and they're fully invested here as well. So, obviously, if this goes south for them at that point, K23 likely have a 7th round, and who knows, maybe even an 8th off the back of it. And considering how this half started, that is a pretty nasty turnaround. Aggression, though, deep in main for Mezii to take some control. Crimz not spotted quite yet. It's going to be awkward once the smoke begins to fade. He might have had a shot at spraying them both down if Z-Power stuck around. Instead, now he's in trouble. He's actually flanked out by Rajin, who unfortunately didn't expose himself to Raya's angle. Not really his fault necessarily. Couldn't step out. Would have been spotted likely by the boost as well that was coming in above the smoke. So didn't really have much of an option. It was Crimz who maybe stuck around a little bit too long.
Exactly. Of course, this Fnatic buy isn't really the strongest either. I mentioned still 2 MP9s in play, but Roy always making a play through the edge of Jaguar. Now has basically complete control of the B side of the map as well. Obviously has to be wary of mid, but it's so much map control for a CT side once you get the smoke up on the B doors. 3v4. Maxi is creeping in toward A. At the moment, he actually has a semi-free bomb site. Problem is, the bomb's going straight toward Mezii right now, and Mezii gets the kill. And that's now the bomb miles away from Exipower, I'm afraid. Molotov in toward the cubby and a flash through the smoke, but I think he realizes at this point there's no way he can get that bomb and get anywhere near winning the round, so he's going to fall back and save the AWP. And his money isn't too good either. Sure, he has 2100, but he wouldn't be able to get an AWP next round if he doesn't save it, so makes sense. And that'll be Fnatic getting the lead on the half confirmed, or killing him after time. Oh, FASHR's found him. 2100 in the next round, like I said, with no AWP this time. Ouch.
Yeah, no, that's definitely going to complicate things now. A full eco was probably going to be taken either way in fairness, but... Oh, Z-Power's gone for the full L by 6. Screw this. Don't really care about ecoing for the last round of the half, which could potentially bring them up towards 6, which would be still really good since they were getting demolished in the initial few rounds. Instead, this is a risky investment. They're kind of opting on getting the bomb planted. The problem is they run through mollies, they run through nades, they take so much damage and clacks while he had taken Roy so low. It takes them so long to get the finish that, of course, FASHR's already in position for at least one trade to come in. But a 3-on-3 is not a terrible position. Damage hasn't been done to these remaining players. They've recovered a couple of rifles. And, well, let's see what they can do with the afterplant because these rotations are already so quickly in place.
I mean, it's still a great position to be in, but Nico, again, peeking at the right timing, already checks the flank as well. And look how fast Mezii is on the flank. Finnegan caught in the back. Now, Exipower needs to clutch 1v3. I've seen him do it before. Can he do it now? No, MP9 is too strong, especially with Crimz on the bomb. It forced him forward. And that's Fnatic up to 9. Good recovery, considering K23 really did swarm them there.
Yeah, thankfully they got that molly down. One of the players, I believe, committed through it, obviously, as we've seen. That was Clax, but other than that, they've done a great job at just delaying the push from coming in for an extra 3 or 4 seconds. That let those rotations get into place in towards Cave as the bomb went down, and just made it so that K23 didn't have much time to set themselves up or take any control for the afterplant. Very quick mid control coming in from X5 though. This time we're not seeing Fnatic really too aggressive, pushed up or anything. They have some utility to work with. I was going to say they're taking a few less risks as it's not as necessary, but no. They wanted to pinch it through Cave and Donut. Unfortunately, both of those angles were being watched, and that's a very early 5-on-3 advantage for K23 to sit on now. That 6th round may, yes, still be theirs.
Nice defensive angle from Nico, though. Does recover at least 1 kill. And they know that they've got basically complete mid control. If Nico wants to go a little bit more aggressive, especially with Mezii coming through Donut now, perhaps he could catch a few players on the rotation. And Mezii's doing exactly that. Gets one, does a bit swing for a second, or he does. But Finnegan just hops around the angle in time. So, back into a 3v3. Raijin's clearing out the site, making sure that his teammates can advance through Cave. Molotov's coming in, a fast peek from Nico, but he gets caught. Big flash, though, and how blind is Raijin? Incredibly blind, that's the answer. But it's all down to Mezii, and they swing wide nicely to find him in the end. And the trades were good from K23 on this occasion. And 6 rounds on T side is a very good T half for the Russian side.
Yeah, just trying to get the round tracker up here again so I can have a quick look and 100% confirm exactly how it went in the early stages. So yeah, K23 did actually kick it off for the initial 2 rounds, and then it was just pretty much Fnatic from there on out until the late stages of the half. So it was a very good job at recovering, but yeah, it's still not ideal. I mean, they ground out a few rounds. There's only once though where they were really able to chain a couple of them together, apart from when they took the pistol in the following round against the full eco, of course, which you kind of expect. So still, I'm waiting to see what they can give us here on the CT side. They need the pistol round, of course, to kick things off. As we're just waiting on one player to ready up, so we won't be long. The nature of open qualifiers, we don't really have control over when they get back into it.
Exactly. It's only Mezii to ready up, also known as fnaticingmezii, because he's called King Mezii. Always, that's caught me off guard the last, like, 3 days of watching the open qualifiers, just seeing his name called fnaticking.
Dude,
He's
the one that
fnaticking
threw
right
me
now.
off yesterday was Gamer Legion. They didn't have any pause between their like things either, and then you had Isaac, so his name starts with a lowercase I, so it was like capital G, capital L,
Lim.
Isaac. So it looked like his name was G Lisa K.
There's Glim as well. Emma's on that team, right? So there's like Glim
Yeah.
too.
But
So
that one was a
catches
little
you
bit
off.
easier to see because it was a capital GL, and then a smaller I and a capital M, so you can kind of make out the IM a little bit easier. I don't know, Isaac just kept catching me off guard. I kept nearly saying it wrong. K23 though, they done it good. They got their little space in there, and then they have their sponsor thing at the end, which makes it at least a little bit less crazy because it's not one massive word joined to their name.
Yeah, it does help. Genuinely.
Here we go.
Anyway,
we're getting
we're
back into the
live.
action. We can stop rambling.
Yeah. Indeed. Talking about meaningless things, we can now talk about things that actually mean something. In a scale of things, at least. Crimz has got the utility alongside Nico for this pistol round. 2 smokes, a molly, and 2 flashes in total. Let's see what they decide to do. Looks like we're going toward B early on here.
C-Power's flank. It is being watched for now. It depends what timing I was going to say he decides to throw this in at, but he actually just catches the bomb. Mezii stepping back in. That confirms, of course, that they are heavily favoured towards B. And well, let's see how quick those rotations can come true. Finnegan, unfortunately, not able to put in any sort of a defense. FASHR drops him real fast. Roy going to drop the bomb back as well, hoping his teammates can get that put down as a spam through the smoke takes out another rotator. Second from FASHR. Make it 3 in total, of course, as the ace may still be yet to come to him. But this is ridiculous. Hopefully he at least gets to see the last couple of people he kills if he gets the ace.
I mean, I know it's a tight sight line there. It's not exactly a wide area to guess, but 2 kills straight through the smoke from FASHR. What a guess from him. He's recovering this round into Fnatic's favour. Finally, he gets dealt with by Raijin, and they still have a kit on Raijin. So they can do something with this, but now time is ticking down very low, and there's Crimson. They can swing as a 3 for the last frag, and that is dirty stuff from FASHR. That's what playing inverted mouse does for you. Kills through smokes like that.
Plays inverted mouse?
Inverted mouse.
Jesus.
He does, yeah. There's a
Who's
famous
the last
video
person to do
of
that?
FASHR.
Maniac or something?
I think so, yeah. There's a famous video of FASHR's control scheme. It's just like the wildest like selection of controls ever, but he makes it work for himself, doesn't he? So
the funniest thing ever was when someone tried to use Scream's key bindings, was it? So like the movement keys were different, and they didn't realize obviously his keyboard layout was different. I remember that years and years back.
Ah, good stuff. Anyway, full force buy for K23, only extra power saving. A little bit of cash, of course, for the future AWP. Already Nico's managed to burn him out of the round. And the MP7 getting a bit of a show off on Nico as well. He does seem to like that SMG. Or Raijin, 1 bullet, little did he know. Just the 1 bullet for Mezii would have taken him out and recovered a man. Look at the line going on right now, though. Finnegan, you can easily deal with Mezii. They're going to rush him down. Surely they take him, and yes, they do. Clax almost gets caught. Or does get caught, sorry. FASHR almost gets caught. FASHR takes him in the end. 2v2. They're both in toward Jaguar here. X5 low. Finnegan on the line with the MP9. Information spotted. Does he wait for Nico to come in from the back or come round? We'll have to see. FASHR just playing with it right now. And then they finally double face him. And that's a good decision to make. Nico now has the bomb. He knows where both of them are. Shifting so they can't hear the footsteps. He'll be able to escape toward A, but X5 is already ready to cover this off. And now he's running. And that's an excellent force buy victory for K23. What a recovery.
I mean, that's better than just winning the pistol round because there's no boosted loss bonus now for Fnatic. They can't even really afford a force buy. They'll obviously go for it because they're on a double eco anyway, but they aren't going to get many nades behind whatever pistols that they're going to be able to pull through. So you don't love their chances. But who knows? It is Fnatic after all. They've got some players. They've got, I'd imagine, some crazy plans in mind for these force buys as well. They do have a UK in-game leader after all. Throw a bit of chaos in. That's what I like in these rounds.
Yeah.
You need to keep K23 on their feet because just straight up aim duels doesn't really tend to do it when you don't have the rifles for yourself. Getting a tactical pause, actually. We need to have one. I don't think we had one in the previous game, and I think this is our first proper one here as well.
Yeah, I think so. Pretty sure. Definitely not a tech because we've got the full counted the full time down, so definitely a tactical timeout, but all good for Fnatic. They still have a full force buy coming in, and the force buy battles will continue until one team wins a couple in a row, I'd imagine. And the force buy doesn't even make no sense in this round for Fnatic because the money of K23 is still in the bin. 3 players on 0, so they can do something with it. It's possible, but they're going to get absolutely destroyed on their mid play. And just like that, I think K23's money might get a bit better after this round.
Just a little bit. It was sort of chaotic, as I said. I wanted Fnatic to try. Unfortunately, they emerged from the smoke into chaos and chaos of bullets rather in towards mid. It was even the bomb that they gifted forward. So Mezii and Nicolas' chances of really recovering anything here are pretty slim. So as you said, it should be K23 closing this out, likely with all 5 standing. Then it's a full eco in this next round from Fnatic with likely nothing at all being bossed. So they have a chance to do something similar once again. And then if they win out the first gun round, suddenly we're tied up at 10-10. So you can see how K23 can get themselves right back into the driver's seat of this game. Nice little flash.
I mean, even a couple of kills would be important damage to get here, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to get any of that. The bomb in mid, every single CT can just come over and hold it as a group. As he tries to get something, but gets sprayed down by X5. Now it's just Nico to try and at least get 1 kill, but somehow I doubt it. Team behind the smoke. Spinning around. I'm spinning around. But yeah, he's just waiting to finally put this round to bed. He needs the loss bonus, so he certainly won't be saving here. And actually, K23, I think they've realised that. I think they've run away. This is actually really smart right now from K23. This is big brain. It might even kill him after time. This is so clever from K23. They're going to kill Nico after time. $50 left. They all run away because they know that he shouldn't be saving. Well, big error from Nico. Very smart from K23.
Of all the people for it to be as well, Nico is the perfect one. They ensure that he's not going to get the op, at least not of his own accord. If it's going to come out later, it'll have to be a drop. It definitely won't be in the next round anyway, because they weren't going to have enough to get it then anyway. So, I mean, they're just kind of screwed. A bomb plant ideally, so Nicolas can get a pistol and some nades or maybe an SMG in this next round while everyone else buys. That's got to be the goal. A molly and a nade that does so much damage there for Klax. He's going to have an easy time mowing them down. Is it the ace? It is indeed. Klax claps them all in towards main, and well, he only even takes the dink, I think, from the last player. That's how easy it was up to that point. The HE made it a lot easier, in fairness, for him. 9-10. One more round to tie things up for K23, and I'm starting to believe we've got a game on our hands here after things were starting to look a bit shaky back in that first half.
I agree, and you're absolutely right as well. I mean, it's obvious that Nico's the perfect player to do that to. K23 knew they fully forced into that round. And yeah, just realizing it was Nico as well, the most important player to leave with basically no cash in the bank. Perfect decision making. Leaves him with $50 in this round, of course, as well, after buying only a deagle and a bit of utility. So this buy round for Fnatic is going to be very rough around the edges. Utility is already low. It's 1 minute 30, and they only have flashes and a couple of smokes. So right now, K23 CT side Ancient is looking very solid indeed.
Actually, yeah, someone mentioned 20 bullet ace. You don't see that happen too often.
Very true, yeah.
Might be the first one I've seen with the single mag, with the 20 bullet M4 As we said, he was helped by the nade and the full eco, but still good control, good composure. I would have probably cacked myself and just ran away. Nah, I kid. But still, it was a risky angle to be so open. You need to stand your ground. If you falter for a second, if you get double peeked, you're screwed as well. But he managed to isolate the fights incredibly well. But right now, they're doing that up against the guns as well. Mezii does actually catch some aggression on mid that was maybe a bit unnecessary, and it's followed up by Z-Power, so there was support. That's understandable. They wanted to at least confirm a trade, but sadly Mezii, he's just a bit too much for them to handle. This push up on towards B now is what decides whether they actually have any hope in the round. And unfortunately, Finnegan catches the time, and so fnaticFASHR falls. Eventually, Mezii's finished off on mid, and they know Crimz is around the ramp there with the bomb, so he's completely trapped in at this point.
Yeah, as soon as they got that pick on toward fnaticFASHR, they knew they could just take their time. Finnegan didn't need to swing again. He knew his teammate was there. Was obviously taking a risk, swinging again immediately. So perfect find for K23. They survive again with 3 players alive. 10 rounds each with Fnatic on another eco. And the last few rounds have been a bit nightmarish for them. That's T-side ancient for you sometimes. It's all good though. Reminder, of course, this is the BO1 matches at the end of the second open qualifier for seeding alone. Both Fnatic and K23 have both made the RMR, as have Forza and Monty, incidentally, playing the 3rd place decider match right now. So we're seeing all 4 of these teams at the RMR. We're just playing this extra BO1 to decide which seed these 4 teams get. So no need to worry if you're a Fnatic fan, they're already through. X5.
I mean, if you're a Fnatic fan, you probably want them to be beating the best of the best, so maybe worry a little bit.
Of course. Yeah, you're allowed to worry a little bit, yeah. I would tend to agree with that.
I'm sure at this point, Fnatic are probably a small bit worried themselves. We said the main pressure is off their shoulders since they qualified, obviously, yes. But still, that seeding can help. It can give you a bit of ease of mind going in as well, knowing that you were the best of your qualifier. Do you get me? You were able to beat out everyone that you needed to beat.
Yeah.
It's a mind game as well, as much as it is everything else. Doesn't unfortunately look like these pistols are going to do anything, so it's all about this next gun round now for Fnatic, as it's getting a bit out of control, to say the least. The economy is beginning to build. fnaticFASHR has a small bit to say about that, but that's going to be all just the one. Another fairly clean round from K23 with 4 left standing. Klax has loads of money to buy for himself. He can probably get a drop, though, just to even it out a bit more, and indeed, that's what they do. So, see, even just the economy decisions from K23, not anything that they're taking lightly. Fnatic need this round to start getting some life back into them.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't really dug too deep into the stats, of course, because both these teams have relatively new rosters with, Fnatic with FASHR and etc. But K23, they do quite like this map, just as a reminder. So this shouldn't be a result that's too surprising. There've been some great teams quite comfortably on Ancient as well in the past with this core and this hold toward mid again. Fnatic try and go through that smoke and they just walk straight into the arms of Raijin. It's way too strong right now from the mid play and the peak from Cave as well, from Jaguar, I should say. That leaves Nico 1v3. Does get the first and doesn't take too much damage, so he's still in the round. Look where the bomb is. Klax is about to find it and have it in his grasp.
It doesn't even look like Nikodos is moving back for it right now. Still over a minute in fairness, so he's just hoping to maybe catch one more kill before he worries about it, but the problem is now that it's been taken control of by Klax, as you can see, Z-Power's just going to go join up with him, and they'll hope to hold on to it together, I think. No, I think he's expecting that there might potentially be, he might already potentially be pushed in through mid, so he doesn't really want to be risk caught alone in a one-on-one. Instead, he's in a pretty decent position to maybe catch this rotation. Yeah, here's the footsteps. Should have himself a pretty easy shot. It's not even going to be checked, as Nikodos is not expecting him to be around there anymore. And well, with that, it's going to be the 12th round for K23. A very convincing start with the initial 3 kills. It does get pulled back a little bit by Roy, who's doing what he can. Fortunately, it doesn't seem like it's enough. And without a bomb plant, without consistent kills across the board, they can't even afford to get their rifles out again. It's going to be pistols, Kevlar, a small few nades, and the hope that they can do something, because it's about to be 13-10. At this point, they've only maybe a couple more gun rounds before it's done and dusted.
Yep. Won't be too long now. K23, especially as I said earlier, that hang on, quick play coming in. Hang on, quick play coming in. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Crimz is immediately destroyed exit power. That's the AWP in the T hands immediately. And FASHR can plant on the edge of the site as well. Crimz, he can take more jills with the AWP if he really wants to. Give it a go. Maybe he could drop it to Nico, or maybe a Roy in this scenario. Yeah, a higher health player. They need to get it on someone. They're playing pass to parcel with it right now. Who wants the AWP? Who's taking it, boys? Come on, make a decision. But it's a 5v4 after plant still. Hits on all 4 players. Smoke on toward the bomb by X5. 2 players boosted up as well. Now Nico will finally get his hands on the sniper rifle. Holding the line toward Cave. But Raijin and X5 do clean them up. And there's Klax getting 2 of his own as well. Really well played. That's an insanely fast retake from K23. Even though they got the opening pick Fnatic, they were given no chance at all.
Maybe they were juggling the up around and all giving it a kiss for good luck. I don't know. Didn't work out though. Crimz ended up with it again. He started off with it, threw it away, and then it came back to him after like 2 other people had had it. I don't know how it took them so long to sort that out. But I don't think it really made any difference in the long run. They got a kill on the bomb plant. It's a decent result. The up, unfortunately, was just smoked off. No matter who had it in their hand, that likely would have been the result. So good work from K23. Good utility usage. Good teamwork, as we've seen throughout this entire CT side. And the latter part of the T side as well when they began their recovery. As things are slowed down once again by Fnatic. I'm surprised we're not seeing something maybe a little bit quicker with the rifles, considering they had so much success there in that previous round, that getting the initial entry. But I suppose after trying it in the previous round, you expect K23 to maybe put down a few mollies earlier in the round, and with that, run the utility down to make an execute maybe a little bit more successful. And that's exactly what they're going to be heading into now, looking for that mid control.
Yeah, K23 haven't adjusted too much to that fast A player. Still left one player there in Klax. That's a nice entry from Roy, though. ryjin will get caught, and not too much damage taken either. So, first frag in response from Fnatic in a while. Well, first opening frag, I should say, for a while. And I reckon that AWP juggle in the previous round was probably due to the fact they were all so tightly bunched together and couldn't get it on the right player, maybe. But they got it on the right player now. Nico gets the opening pick toward his counterpart, Exipower. Or his opening pick. It's now a 5v3. Also will force Finnegan away as well. That tag to the molly will have been heard. So they know there's a player in cave at least. But they're still, all three have rotated in for K23. This is a perfect call. They could still ruin Fnatic's hopes and dreams in this round. It's a 5v3, could turn into a 3v1 at this point because all three of them are here. Klax is swinging wide, just avoids. I say avoids, not anymore. And look where Mezii is, flanking X5's rotation. And Fnatic have figured it out. I was worried for a second, but it's all down to Finnegan. And he's not that close at all.
Bit surprised by the attempt to jump back from cave there in towards the spawn again.
Yeah.
Probably could have got a lot more done if he just stuck around on the bomb site, even tried to waste a few seconds and played off his teammate who was in cave with him. It was a weird one. Maybe a bit of overconfidence with how well the half has been going so far, but either way, it's going to be an 11th round finally put on the board for Fnatic, and they might actually break the economy with maybe even just the one more buy. No, not quite. It'll take 2 more, unfortunately, but it would leave ryjin in this next round with something slightly weaker, so you can see how they can manage to get right back into this game. Take 2 rounds in a row, tie it up at 13-13. You likely get a 14th for free off the back of it. And then only one more gun round, really, that K23 will be able to stand against you with. Fnatic themselves, though, obviously aren't sitting pretty despite winning that previous round. They've got a bit of money, sure. They need to keep on winning rounds, otherwise it's not really going to matter too much. As Nico does catches that early cave aggression. There's going to be a second player trying to follow up. Somehow no more kills have gone down in that area, so it looks like they've both abandoned the attempt to take the fight. Instead, it's the A main aggression that's worked out for K23. Not in terms of a kill, but at least taking some control back so that they can maybe risk a bit of a rotation. And look at this. X5 as a kill. He might even go for the knife if it wasn't for a bit of a turnaround. Eventually forced to just go ahead and take the frag for himself. And now with the control of Cave back, they have pretty much everyone on Fnatic locked over towards ramp.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. They need an entry, and they got it. fnaticFASHR with an excellent frag there, with only 22 health to spare, but it's so critical. And now Roy is flanking the flanker in X5. Perfect play. Back into a 4v2. Fnatic are turning up now. Great grenade from Klax does remove fnaticFASHR from the round, the low HP player, but it's still a 2v3 on the retake, and re-smokes are being deployed. So I think a save call might have to come in here. The money's not good on ryjin. Klax has money to drop if they do save, so I think it makes the most sense. They are falling back. It's going to be 1 round the gap again.
Yeah, as I had said, their buy would have been a bit limited, so save's going to help them out quite a bit. They'll have a small bit left over, probably even, but while it won't be enough for a buy, it could help them in the long run also. So it's the small moments you've got to think about. The 2-on-3 retake wasn't all that viable. I'm liking what we're seeing from Fnatic now over these past couple of rounds. They seem to have slowed things down. They're managing to take a few gambles that are working in their favor, such as Roy deciding to push through the smoke there over towards Cave, choosing the perfect time to do so as well. Let's see if they can keep it up, because, as we said, they're on the brink of completely destroying K23's money finally. That would likely allow them to get themselves up towards that finish line. Like they want mid control. They're waiting, I think, for the players outside B maybe to get a bit closer. No, perhaps not. They can't really worry about that because there's actually full B aggression coming in right now. And Rye looked like he was maybe ready for that, but no, he'd been blinded by Nico's flash. That's a bit awkward.
A little bit. So that gives K23 an opening pick, what feels like a bit for free, but that's a great answer back from Mezii. As I mentioned, he's been really good at being a sort of a fragging IGL on this team, especially at this level. And even against the slightly more impressive teams, he hasn't been too bad at all. He was obviously a brilliant fragger in the old editions, or the old rosters of Fnatic. Crimz is in the perfect spot here. Exit power is on the rotation. There's one kill for free. Does he expect the second? Or he doesn't. Klax takes him. That could have easily been 2 for Crimz there. Klax recovers the situation. Back into a 3v3. fnaticFASHR has the bomb. Walking with Mezii to try and deal with Klax in mid. They spot the information and fnaticFASHR taps him down, but there's the lineup from the flank. X5 takes him, and he takes both Nico and Mezii as well. fnaticFASHR is on a tear toward the A bomb site. He needs to get there quickly. Finnegan might be there to stop it, but the bomb will go down. fnaticFASHR now in a 1v2. Finnegan is creeping in, will show his hand, but just maybe missing the timing there. fnaticFASHR will fall back in toward Donut. I don't think any information has been gleaned at all for either side, actually. You'll know that the flash has come in toward mid, or from mid, by X5. And X5 is taking this one very slowly indeed. This is the kind of round that fnaticFASHR is very good at. This Molly's going to burn him out, though. Has to take the duel, wins it, but the Molotov is still burning, and it's spreading as well. And that spread will prove to be his end. No. But time! There's no time! fnaticFASHR's won it through time alone. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he would have had time either way, but it took him a moment to find the bomb as well, because he was standing right on top of it, and he thought it was into the side along the edge of the box rather than directly where it was in front of it. I don't think it really would have helped him either way, but it was just a little bit awkward right there for sure. Either way, 13-13, Fnatic tie it up, a ridiculous clutch in the end, and yeah, K23 are going to be kicking themselves. They're calling in a pause at this point as well to have a bit of a chat, and it looks like they're going to force. Oh.
Damn.
This is risky. They lose this. Fnatic are up on 15. Then you're fighting for an overtime with a terrible economy. They're fecked.
Yeah. What I will say as well is that a big factor of that round I didn't mention during that retake against fnaticFASHR is that the kit player was the one rotating from mid, not the player near the bomb. So that's the kit lost as soon as fnaticFASHR gets that kill. And that's why he didn't swing necessarily immediately from the cubby. Obviously, he couldn't know that the second player didn't have a kit, but waste as much time as possible, and then only peek when you have to, when that Molotov spreads. So, yeah, it's going to be a great result for Fnatic and for fnaticFASHR. Critical clutch. And as you say, at 13 all, this buy from K23 is a big one.
I mean, every buy at this point is a big one. Fnatic have built up a small bit of money for themselves, but it's not like their own economy is in a great position either, so they couldn't sustain much in terms of a round loss unless they're getting a bomb plant and such down as well. It's the full mid control being pretty much allowed to be taken by K23. Fnatic are playing things a little bit slower as they have been for, well, this entire T side it seems. Instead, they're grouped around main. They're going for a little bit of late mid presence after the smokes and such fade away. That's just hoping to keep them busy around Donut, and that's exactly what it's done. It should allow for these players to just walk onto the A bomb site. As long as they move relatively soon, that is. They might actually be kind of outplaying themselves. Obviously, there's no way to know that there's no one here currently.
That flash will now show the presence for Klax. He does get fully hit by that. He needs to be aware of it, though. Oh, Klax had his chance. That was his chance to get at least one frag in his team's favour, but now the boost will come in from fnaticFASHR. They had no idea there was a player already up there. Now Extra Power needs to be the one to step up. Flash is coming in, utility to try and stop this, but they're planting in the open. They didn't realise Extra Power was so close, and now he can step up, but no. He misses the second shot. That has to be Mezii, though, and he grabs it, but Extra Power is still getting more kills, and he gets the last as well. 4 kills from Extra Power. What a play to make at this time. That's what we've seen from him over the years, and he's delivering again in 2022.
Yeah, he's been a bit quiet as well, considering what we normally expect from him. Maybe Ancient just isn't the map that he's as comfortable opping on, but, well, right there on that retake anyway, he made it work, and He may have been the man to just help send his team over the finish line. Loss bonus and a bomb plant, of course, allows Fnatic to keep things going, but fortunately now they're facing down the barrel of potentially fighting for an overtime at best if they can't make this one work. So it doesn't really matter at this point. It's win or nothing. That's got to be the goal in their mindset rather.
Exactly.
Again, just another pretty slow default being held as well. We're not seeing tons of aggression from K23 either. And when they do go for it, it tends to be around mid maybe or in towards main with deep utility set up. They put the deep main smoke, I think, when they went for the main control. They always smoke and molly mid, of course, if they're going to take it for themselves. So it doesn't really give Fnatic much of an option other than to wait out those initial few seconds most of the time.
Yeah, as you say, in Fnatic, the only positive for Fnatic is to still have a buy to fight this map ever further. K23, 1 away from winning the second bracket. Oh, sorry, 2 away from winning the second bracket. Fnatic 3 away from winning the second open qual and getting that first seed into the RMR. Roy, excellent crosshair placement. Expecting Raijin's angle. Takes him out. 5v4. And Roy might even want to go in for more here. Oh my goodness, he pulls that utility, but it doesn't matter. He still gets that second, and that's probably the most he would have got anyway. That was scary, though. Fnatic still have that man advantage, and the bomb's going toward A again. Can they find an A plant safely this time? Nico is still faking this B possibility, and he might even still find Clax, and he does. That's dirty. And little did they know they were still planting toward A anyway. Extra power, he'll get taken out. And Fnatic are recovering the situation. Back even again at 14-all coming in here. Unless X5 can do something ridiculous.
Nothing to keep them separated at the moment. It makes sense. This is the fight for the first seed. I think it would be fitting if we managed to get an overtime. It's yet to be seen, but definitely a possibility. I don't think anyone would complain, considering it only seems like both teams have found their footing as the game has gone on. We had shaky starts from both of them where they took their turns, kind of trading back a large number of rounds each, kind of taking control of the game for a while. It's only the last while where things have been going back and forth. I'm liking it. The weapon saved, of course, still not really going to be doing it, unfortunately, for K23. They have to likely just take the full eco. I hope the M4 doesn't tempt them into force buying, because then they'd be screwed in the next round if they were to go for it. So, yeah, just hope this one M4 can do something crazy. Maybe go for something a bit more aggressive. They have a flash bot up on Clax as well. Get the M4 in the back of some sort of push with the USPs, hoping to maybe do some damage, get a few dinks, and get a kill or two in the front.
Yeah, this is their only option, unfortunately. Full eco with the M4. It's always probably the most painful situation, economy-wise, when you know you're committed to a full eco at 14-all. Incredibly painful. Let's see if they can make something ridiculous happen. First pistol dealt with by Crimz. Slow default for Fnatic. They don't need to take any risks here. Mezii calling it correctly, knowing their money is probably as low as anything. Not over-peaking too much at all, knowing that their chance of 15 is here. We know that Fnatic love their overtimes. If anyone was watching the Fnatic versus Havu game last night, 28-26 on Nuke. Fnatic won that one to confirm their spot in the RMR. Havu having to go again in today's open qualifier.
Glad I didn't do that last night because I was solo casting. I was gonna wait for the game, but Havu's game wasn't even like halfway done, and Fnatic had already been waiting for Fnatic for ages. So I was like, yeah, no, screw it, I'll do a different game. If I had waited for that, it would have been a long old solo cast.
Yeah, it would have been unfortunate for you with Wolfie's PC dying. Bad timing on that one.
Oh, but, I think he spotted the head.
Yeah, good find.
It is the full stack though. Doesn't seem to be working, unfortunately. I was hoping maybe a kill or two at least could come in. I mean, it's not like the damage would help, but just to land a few shots before going into the last round, you know? Always nice.
Yep.
Here we go. The buy, it's limited. In terms of firepower, it's all there. They've got the M4s and the op. They just don't have the nades behind that, and they don't even have a defuse kit. So if it does come down to a retake, which it has fairly often, then they're going to be in trouble.
Let's see. It's now or never for K23 if they want that first seed. Nico smoking that edge of the mid, and he even makes it work for an opening kill. A bit of a bait there perhaps with that smoke. Works out well to get an opening. Another advantage for Fnatic to work with. And they have full control of this portion of the map now as well. Roy. Oh, imagine if he pulled the trigger then. Exapower would have been history.
Seen K23 a few times come back from tough positions, but yeah, they don't even really have the utility to make some sort of a proactive play to try and salvage the situation. All they have is 2 flashes, as we said, no kit either, so you can't really afford to sit around and wait for this to hopefully be a B hit, because if it comes down to a retake on A, then their chances are pretty much 0, and as you can see, there is a bit of presence here on B that's keeping them busy, but the bomb in the meantime is about to walk onto that A bomb site, so despite even suffering a loss of Roy, it shouldn't really be too much of an issue as long as they plant real soon. They're taking the time though.
40 seconds to make sure they don't die to Donut again. They're really making sure of it. Exapower does get 1. And that recovers it into a 4v3, actually. Bomb will go down. And they're going to go for the full retake. Raijin coming in from the big flank. And 3 coming through CT.
This is going to be hard. They just need to charge in pretty much. Z-Power on the op as well is even going to have to join them and just running towards the bomb site and hoping to trade as quickly as they can, because that bomb is already starting to tick away. Nico comes out of the temple to try and take the fight. It will sadly leave him exposed to the trade back from main, but he gets 1 kill to delay him a small bit. The molly towards the bomb as well. Doesn't actually manage to stop the defuse though, so he'll have to do it himself. And he's not going to be able. Did they get it? No!
Oh, so close, but yet so far. Can you believe it? What a way to lose. Goodness me. You could hear it right as that Molotov came in. It took so much damage, but yeah, in the end, Fnatic get away with it. And they will win the BO1 to get themselves that #1 seed from the second open qualifier. So close for K23. But again, of course, the money situation that they're in, lack of kits, came back to bite them.
Yeah, I mean, I had stressed throughout that entire round that that's what I thought would probably come back